Welcome to the Shut Your Mouth Lounge, episode 229. Pink! Who says nothing. Okay, there we go. Atty, who is also going to say nothing, but at least he does it consistently, except when I don't want. Okay. Sure. I'm Alex.
The mix-ups never stop.
It's my bane in fighting games and in real life. So, Pink, have you got anything coming out on your channel this week?
I'll definitely be having more Dead by Daylight coming out this week.
Okay, Atty.
Yes. So I didn't release the video I said I would this week because I forgot to queue it up. So
that happens.
So in the meantime, I actually edited the edited version. By the way, I just want to note that series is 2 videos that overall come out to 5 hours. The edited version is 2 hours.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
that sounds fun.
Because I didn't know how to edit it because I wanted to make it so if people only want to watch the edited one, they don't miss anything. And the main point of the game is the rhythm game boss battles, and I couldn't really just like cut around that. So that's why it's 2 hours. Otherwise, it would be like 15 minutes, but still.
Yeah.
But yeah, so basically, it's if you just want to see what the game is, watch the edited version of the video, and then you will see the game. If you want to watch me fuck around and not know what's going on, then you can watch the edited videos that are going to be releasing in the coming weeks.
Good deal.
All right. Did you play Friday Night Funkin'?
No, Songbird Symphony.
Okay.
No, if I played Friday Night Funkin', I would just upload all of the songs as separate videos, and then just fucking then I don't have to worry about cutting around it because that's the entire content. But Songbird Symphony.
Yeah, that's true.
Songbird Symphony is a rhythm game platformer.
Weird.
Yeah, and it has puzzles and shit. It's a fun game. I liked it.
All right.
So yeah, I'm also working on a review for that because, I mean, I already have the footage, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that maybe I can actually do reviews again sometime soon. But we shall see. The script so far is about 2.5 minutes long, which is kind of stinky, you know.
Maybe just a bit.
Well, I mean, if you got a quick opinion to state on it, then you only need a short video, then you only need a short video. And for a lot of people, are like, holy shit, a review in 2 minutes, I gotta see it.
Yeah, maybe. You know, I'm just like whenever I do stuff like that, I'm reminded of how I used to be able to do 50-minute videos on whatever game, whether I liked it or not. I can't anymore. What changed? You know?
Well, there's brevity and levity are underrated as a general rule in any medium.
Yeah. I can point out 2 series that are too long for their own good. Maybe 3, just off the top of my head.
It's better to leave them wanting more than to leave them feeling like that was a bit too long and you wasted their time a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
Sometimes a lot of it.
Yeah, there's a reason. There's a reason I often don't start on TV shows.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I experienced Heroes firsthand.
Oh yeah.
What a train wreck that was.
Yeah. Oh boy. I think we probably all got a story for that one. Jesus.
But not for Heroes specifically, no.
Well, that's true. That's true.
Like I saw Heroes being advertised around the time that it was airing, and I was like, oh cool, a Heroes of Might and Magic adaptation series. It wasn't that. I watched an actual trailer, like because like I read about it before I saw a trailer. So I read about it and I'm like, cool. Heroes of Might and Magic adaptation. I watched a TV spot and I was like, oh, so that's not it. And I just didn't watch it.
Yeah. I did not watch it either. I did not mean to say that. That's not what I meant. I meant like everyone's got a story of a bad experience with a TV show they invested in heavily, just kind of farting out at the tail end, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that's not even like locked to TV shows only. I feel like that's my experience with Jojo Lion. Jojo Leon? I forget how you're supposed to pronounce it.
Joe the Lion?
Yes. Jojo Siva's Lion.
David Bowie song for those playing it along at home.
At least with JoJo, it's like each arc is a story of itself.
Kinda, but like the part 8 to me was one of the weird ones where it's like, yeah, shit's happening, I guess. I just don't know what's going on. Which like that's part of JoJo. But at the same time, usually I can at least gather what's going on. Like it was less weird than when Dio started eating rocks. Then that's an actual thing that happens. But yeah, that was less weird to me than like half of the plot of Jojo Leon, because it just like it felt like it stood in one place for too long, and then it realized that it was supposed to move on and just didn't know what to do and tripped, and then the series ended. And now we're getting a continuation in part 9, apparently.
Weird. That's still weird to me that they're going to have like this next JoJo part is not going to be a new JoJo at all. It's just going to be a continuation of part 8, right?
Yeah, from what I hear, I didn't look into it too much.
That just sounds too weird. That's not. Obviously, I'm far from the JoJo expert, but it just doesn't sound like what JoJo is.
I mean, usually when press JoJo's come back, it's for like cameos or being a supportive character to the current JoJo. Except when you're Jotaro. Jotaro came into Diamond is Unbreakable and he was like, "Hey, I'm Jotaro," and then he won and left.
Yeah.
Like that's like there's parts like Araki tried to make him be a supportive character, but he was too iconic because that's when JoJo blew up. So yeah. But like, I would be fine if Gappy, who is the nickname or which is the nickname of Part 8's JoJo, I think I'd be fine if he returned as a supportive character. I don't hate him. I just hate his supportive characters. So I don't like that the whole cast is coming back. Like Joshu was bad, and he was like the main guy who was always there, and he was just annoying at best.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, W, what's going on your channel, if anything? I guess.
Well, for a while I've been wanting to put stuff out, but either been too busy or when I get free time, I mostly devote it either to recording with the rest of y'all or just kicking back and relaxing. But now that school is done, I can guarantee this coming week I will have the free time to record stuff. And I will be pushing forward on a couple ideas. I do want to get something out for Warhammer, probably just a short little video saying how I feel about Warhammer 3 and saying, no, I do not agree with the whole media splurge there was about a month ago saying, oh my god, it's the end of the world, the game's the poopiest. And there's a variety of reasons why that went on. I might get into that. I don't know. Other than that, in terms of stuff I intend to do, I'll probably be dropping another video of Dead by Daylight that I recorded like a week ago, but just didn't get around to uploading. And because uploading was a pain in the ass before this satellite dish got put in, because I had to take videos, put them on my phone, and upload them from my phone, and my phone did not upload too terribly quickly. And on top of that, I have said before that at some point, I have a couple other ideas for what I want to record. I want to start looking into recording Dead Rising challenge runs. I think that could be a lot of fun. And, I know Dead Rising like the back of my fucking hand. So, that's always a neat bit to do. And for that one, it would largely just depend. I think the challenge run I'd start off with is one that I've already done successfully just off recording, which is beat Dead Rising without killing a single zombie. And that one would be a pain in the ass to do, but hell, it might be fun. And other than that, I do want to record me playing 2 relatively new games, I guess. For me, but I don't know which one I'd want to do first. I want to record a playthrough of Halo 1, since I got it on PC. Technically, I have already played Halo 1 a fair bit, but I figure, why the hell not? It could be fun, and for Halo's a franchise that, of course, countless people have already played through, but I imagine for a lot of people, the idea of playing Halo blind is unthinkable because so many people have already been exposed to it, and I am blind to like the latter half of that game and pretty well the entirety of the rest of the series. So that could be fun.
I mean, the only thing I can tell you about the Halo series is that I don't like Halo, but I still like Reach. So,
and the last one that I want to do sometime soon, especially because I think it's inevitable I will end up running into the big spoilers for it, is Disco Elysium. That one, I know that at the very beginning I'll have to explicitly say, hey, this game is very much about politics. I know that. I will try not to hold back on politics, which is a bit unusual for me. Well, it's not too unusual for me. But, if you're uncomfortable with politics, hey, watching me play this probably isn't for you. And so on, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And then you will do and for that series you will do the evil run.
Well, I'm pretty sure that game has fascism as a legitimate choice in the politics.
That's what I'm calling the evil run. Yes.
Yeah.
Like you go with that shit, and then you do like the most half-assed efforts at trying to justify it.
Well, I mean, your character's patently fucking insane, isn't he?
I don't know. I haven't looked into Disco Elysium that much.
I know of 2 dialogue exchanges in the game. The first one is you run into a black character, and for whatever reason, I guess part of the thing is your character's got to battle with his mental illnesses in dialogue checks, and there's RNG for whether or not the mental illnesses will let you say something reasonable. And at one point in the game, you're in dialogue with a black character, and one of your mental illnesses has a chance to fire off, and if it does, your only dialogue choice is to tell them, you are black.
Oh,
another point.
That reminds me of the freaking there's a line in Skyrim on Oblivion, I forget, where they just point out like they just basically go up to you and go, have you heard of white people?
Yeah. Oh, it's the one I always love is like, it was Oblivion, wasn't it? Where one of the things the characters will say to you in passing is, have you heard of the High Elves?
Yeah, that's the one. That's the line. And I've just seen it become a meme of people just going, have you heard of white people?
Yeah. Well, because like the thing is, in Lord of the Rings or maybe even Warhammer, that's kind of an understandable sentiment because the elves are so rare in some parts of the world that they've kind of passed into myth. But in Elder Scrolls, elves are not a rarity or mythological at all. Elves aren't dying off in Elder Scrolls like they are in every single other fantasy universe. In Elder Scrolls, elves are just another ethnicity, and on top of that, at that point in the Elder Scrolls series, the High Elves are starting to take over the world. So not only are they common, they are extremely politically relevant. It's like if somebody walked up to you now and said, have you heard of the Chinese?
And then your only dialogue option is no.
Yeah.
But there's 4 of them.
Tell me more. The classic Bethesda choices. Enthusiastic, yes. Hesitant, yes. Sarcastic, yes. Questioning, yes.
And then there's
just so many options you're giving us here, Alex.
And then if you bring a companion, a specific companion, there's a 5th option that just is Codsworth.
Yeah. The hearing that always makes me think of the Yes Man ending in New Vegas, the choice you get with General Oliver. You guys know the one that I'm talking about?
I don't remember the Yes Man ending.
Yes Man, throw General Oliver off the dam.
Yeah.
And it cuts to Yes Man throwing General Oliver off the dam.
Yeah.
Nice.
And Oliver just falls the whole way down screaming, and it's hilarious.
Does he when Yes Man throws him, does he like stand in the air for a bit and then pull out a sign?
That'd be great. Some Wile E. Coyote-esque sign that says, like, where did I go wrong? Fall.
I saw people lobbying for Wile E. Coyote to be in multiverses just so they can do that when they throw a lead.
Yeah. That might have started with the ketchup and mustard guys. I saw they did that, something like that on Twitter.
Maybe.
There's going to be potential for all kinds of stupid requests for that game. Of course, the start of it is going to be, I want more superheroes, but like, there's so many stupid inclusions in that game already. Like, what the fuck is the girl from Game of Thrones doing there?
Daenerys or whoever?
Not Daenerys. It's not even Daenerys. For some reason, I can't remember her name. She's one of the main characters. It's Maisie Williams' character, the little ninja.
I wouldn't know.
Oh, I've somehow forgotten her name. She's one of the main characters, so I'm gonna feel like an idiot whenever I see her name.
It's not Daenerys. That's not relevant.
If you saw the show, I think there's some girls who disagree about Pink, but that's another thing for another time. I'm just gonna have to look up Game of Thrones Stark family because I can't remember. Arya. Just as I look it up, I remember it's Arya. Yeah, Arya Stark's there, so people are probably gonna be asking for a while. Where's X character from Game of Thrones? You know, they probably should set up some training dummies in training mode of the most unpopular characters from each series, right?
Yeah.
Because Scooby-Doo's there, so one of the training dummies should be Scrappy.
Right.
And we got Game of Thrones, so one of the training dummies should be Joffrey.
Scrappy's actually gotten more popular. Like, people have been re-examining Scooby-Doo for some reason.
Right, but Scrappy is the original meme of TV show character everyone hates, you know?
Yeah.
Ooh, who's the character from DC Comics that everyone would love kicking around?
Injustice
The memeiest
Superman.
one would be Ambush Bug, but I don't know. What'd you say?
Injustice Superman.
Injustice Superman. Oh, no, there's a depressing amount of people who think that's deep and good writing. Like, the funny thing is, like, I love Injustice as fighting games, but the story of Injustice has done so much damage to DC Comics in the last 10 years, you can't, like, it's almost impossible to measure.
I know.
It damaged it so thoroughly that fucking Zack Snyder was like, sweet, I'm gonna do Injustice.
I know how much it damaged DC Comics because I read the first, like, 3 or 4 years of Injustice.
And of course, it burned out super quickly because they burned all their swerves on year one. Correct me if I'm wrong.
From what I remember, yeah. I really liked when they had to go to a different dimension and kidnap Green Arrow from there because we had Green Arrow.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that doesn't really that doesn't show that you fucking wrote yourself into a corner. No.
Yeah. And it just feels kind of hacky that it's like, well, we found the one alternate universe where instead Canary died. And it's like, really? There's only... For one thing, you were lucky enough to run into that. Also, Are we assuming the multiverse is infinite? In which case, that's not really that special either. There's presumably thousands of universes out there.
That's the only one.
Yeah.
That's just not possible.
Like, presumably there's got to be a universe out there where Dinah just happened to, like, trip and fall down the stairs. Like, oh, no, wait, this is the universe where Dick Grayson trips and falls down the stairs. Excuse me.
True,
Yes.
very true.
And then Damien gets blamed for it for some reason. Batman should have declared vengeance on that rock instead. That was the real culprit.
He should have declared vengeance on Talia al Ghul for making Damien.
Yeah. To be fair, Batman does have something to be mad at Talia for in that situation.
I know.
Just a little bit.
That's he may love Damien, but the how Damien was conceived was not a good situation. And
Apparently
everyone more or less just accepts it because I guess it's fine if it happens to a guy.
From what I heard, that was retconned later. I don't know when, but yeah, it was retconned.
Yeah, I think that was just a pre-Flashpoint thing that Talia raped Bruce. I think now it's supposed to be that it was consensual, but Talia just didn't tell Bruce that she got pregnant. I guess
it was consensual, but Batman still got drugged.
Which the thing is, if it's consensual, like I know Batman has his moments where he's a little bit short-sighted, but how does Batman not use a condom?
because he couldn't develop the bat condom yet.
That's one thing he didn't account for somehow.
He just had to put the bat logo on it, but in doing so, he wound up thinning.
Yes. No, the glue that he used, the fucking adhesive that was on the sticker, the bat sticker, was like acidic to the condom, and it melted away.
Yeah. Hank, what happened to the condoms at the in Community, the episode where they run the sex education party, but all the condoms have something wrong with them? What happened to it?
They had holes in them or something. Because they were filling up like water balloons and they started leaking.
Yeah, but where'd the holes come from? Wasn't there some stupid gag about Chang or somebody misinterpreting like what a condom is for and deciding to put holes in it because he thought it would work better that way?
I honestly don't remember. I don't remember that. It's just that it was Screenedale, so of course they were defective.
Yeah. All right. Addy, what is coming out on the group chat? Well, I could probably get back to checking that again myself now, honestly. But you probably have more plans. So, Addy, what's coming out on the channel this week?
Well, on Monday, I want to say. You'll have a video on Monday and Friday. I don't remember exactly which one's which. But you have Schoolgirls and the best of Hitman 2. Well, Hitman 2016 in Hitman 2.
All right.
But yeah, the Schoolgirls video, I just decided not to fucking edit. because I was trying to make it so, it would be like 15-minute chunks. And it didn't come out right, even when I did. And also, because of how my PC is, if I import a video to edit it, the audio drifts out of sync. And like basically, sometimes, randomly, the audio, once it's in the thing, it will just erase parts. Just call out parts and just act like it wasn't there to begin with. And there's no way for me to rectify this. Yeah, and there's no way for me to rectify this, which is why shit gets out of sync and why I have to spend so much time syncing stuff up again. But if I'm trying to include everything that was in the session, then syncing stuff up is harder because I can't just fucking cut out the part where it cut out the audio completely.
Yeah.
So I just opted to put the whole thing up, use the YouTube editor to cut out the parts where like the 2 seconds where there was shit that needed to be cut, and then it's just the full session otherwise. And yeah, the Hitman thing is the best. Is just the best moments in my opinion of the series.
There were a lot of them.
Yeah. There was I remember there being at least one scene that I wanted to include, but I couldn't find it, even though I watched through the series like 4 times while editing that. So I just didn't include it, which is sad. But hey, there's not much else I could do.
Yeah. If it doesn't appear, then there's not much that can be done to include it, yeah.
And yeah, aside from that, I still have the raw footage of us playing Paladins, but I have no fucking clue how to edit it. Because if I try to edit it so it's only the like interesting parts, there won't be a video. So like I have
that.
Yeah.
That's kind of the rough thing about us doing a FPS, a multiplayer FPS, and one that's so chaotic like that, is there are so many moments where what's going on is more or less, like, especially in Paladins, a game where there's no downtime. It's virtually us just always calling the match.
Yep.
And calling spots.
Yep.
Like, that game has no downtime and no time for goofery.
Yeah, and so I don't know. I don't really know how to edit it, because like I could edit it so it's only the parts where we played good. We didn't play good, and I can't.
Speak for yourself, man. I played very, very well when I wasn't sucking, which was only 98% of the time. But that was 2% of the time where I was actually very good.
I was happy with my performance in some of the matches, and I've forgotten the rest.
I mean, I was fine with some of them, but like I'd say that the parts that I think are fine are mediocre, So like it's not really something that I could put up like, hey, we did good, or at least even if y'all were playing good, I probably wouldn't have caught it on camera because of how we always need to be on the move, and how we took turns dying.
Yeah.
And so like that's an issue with it. Like I remember like the only good funny thing is when we had that fucking salty guy by fucking luminescence or whatever.
Yeah.
Like that's the only funny part that I can remember. But that like I could just cut that bit out and upload it as a separate thing. It was just like a moment and then leave it as that. Like I don't know how much I need to edit of this, like 7 hours, if not more, of footage. So should I just go and do that? What do you all think?
I'd cut that spot out. It's difficult to say what else to cut out.
Mm-hmm.
I would say you're safe to probably just cut in a couple matches, but just pick at random. Just to say, like, well, we did play the game.
Yeah.
The egotistical part of me wants the game to get in where I played Cassie and killed everyone forever, but
all right, then I'll see what I can do with all of that. Because yeah, I wasn't sure how to proceed with the footage, because there's not much, even though we recorded a lot. Like it hires us games for some reason do this. And it's like we play the game for a while, we do stuff, but we actually like don't like it's the video equivalent of talking loud, not saying much.
Yeah, well, Smite, I think it differs a bit from game to game too, because Smite has quite a bit more downtime, so we do get to like joke a bit more. Paladins, it is honestly, you need to be pushing every single second, or else your team is just fucked.
Yep.
Like, I was saying this at the time, it's Overwatch on crack, which is crazy because Overwatch was already Team Fortress on crack,
Yep.
Yeah.
So I do think that's it's unfortunate because I was thinking Paladins would be a solid alternative for a game that the three of us, four of us with Soon, could play with still Mike and Korn and Goku because it's free and it's cross-platform. But I can very much see Mike bouncing off that game and possibly Korn too. You know,
Yeah.
Right.
like it's the trouble is that the majority of the stuff that they make for free to play nowadays is very hyperactive stuff that they make for kids because kids, as a general rule, are the biggest free to play consumers because they don't have money to spend. And a lot of those hyperactive games are hypoglycemic, and that will turn Mike off. In terms of just what we can play, I mean, Paladins is still there, though, honestly, if it's just us, there's other things, you know?
Yeah.
Honestly, and this is going to be there's going to be differing scales here of pain whenever we get to try it, but, you know, For Honor going cross-platform isn't too far off.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know. That's the issue with that one, is that we don't know when For Honor will go proper cross-platform. Because like technically,
Yeah, we don't.
Yeah, go ahead.
We don't know, but they are already part of the way there. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, that is true. And one thing with that game is Mike has asked me if he should look into For Honor. So he's interested in that game.
Yeah, I think he'd get mad at the way some of the systems work.
Oh, definitely. He definitely fucking get ganked once and then uninstall the game. But, you know,
I wouldn't say uninstall, but he'd definitely go, well, that was bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, if he did uninstall after getting ganked once, I wouldn't blame him. Like, I'm just...
No, I wouldn't either.
Like, I got used to it, is the best way to put it.
Yeah. Well, the thing, just getting ganked outright while you're doing something else ain't too, like, bad. The annoying thing is when you're having a 1v1 fight and you're winning, and then, oh, here comes the fucking save the day brigade, you know?
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Although one of my favorite moments in that game is still when people tried that with me, with Ramusha, back when, the MOBA game mode, I forget its name, when that was introduced. All four of the team, like, I started 1v1ing a guy, and got him down to health. Then all three other people showed up, and then I just proceeded to counter gank them, and did a 1v4, just killing everyone in the team.
It was the call ambulance team right there.
That is the thing with getting ganked in games like that, is that it does. There is the idea, the occasional times where you actually beat everyone. Like, oh, if I'm wrong, but didn't the Hungarian dude they introduced near the end of when we were playing have like a specific thing where if you parried a bunch of people at the same time, he'd suplex them all with a shield or shit like that?
Yeah, I forget the name, but I even made a video. Shit, whatever. Tenebrisman. Yeah. Something breaker. I think is right. He cut off, and I only heard breaker, but he is right.
I am correct.
But yeah, so yeah, Tenebrisman has a move on a special stance punch, where he goes into a short parry state, and the more people attack him, the more people he suplexes.
Yeah. Huh.
And then now there's pirates and shit like that, so, you know, maybe we'd have fun now. Or Pink would get shot, and then we yell, all of us.
He was so young. Yeah, there's probably a lot of gameplay changes that have happened in the time we're away, because that game was very happy to make balance changes.
Yeah. All I can hope for is that they fucking made so Aramusha doesn't suck now. Which, wait, actually, yeah. I did go back a while back, just to check out if they fixed Aramusha, and they kind of did. Not really, but, you know, it's they made concessions to, or is that the right word? Maybe. I forget. Whatever. But yeah, they tried to make it so he doesn't suck as much. So they still didn't give him like an opener, but they did change his kit a bit, from what I remember.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'd be anxious about. Is how much has my boy been changed? What's his name? Mr.
Lawbringer? Not Lawbringer.
Spinebuster Man, help me.
Yeah, freaking not Berserker, not Lawbringer. Not Highlander, although that's one of them too. Marauder? Maybe?
I don't remember.
Me neither.
Some of it.
Yeah, the Viking Vanguard.
Something like that, yeah.
But yeah,
Either which way, Pink, what you been up to the past week, man?
Basically the usual. Played a lot of Dead by Daylight with Mike. Played a lot of Civilization. I played Civilization way too late into the night last night, and then I woke up at like 6 a.m., so that wasn't fun. So, outside of those two things, let's see. I saw the finale to Gravity Falls, so I've technically finished the show, though I did definitely skip a few episodes because, yeah, I didn't actually watch the entire last season. But I thought it was good. I thought it was very well done. Even though I didn't completely know what was going on, I still was able to comprehend enough that everything made sense to me, and I liked it. Very good show. Speaking of shows that knew when to end, that they did a very good job of keeping it short and concise and wrapping it up nicely with bow on top. And I think that's all I did this week.
All right. Addy.
right. Well, I've nearly finished Metal Gear Solid 5. I'm literally on the last mission. But to do the last mission, you need to fucking grind. Thank you, Kojambo. Based.
Genius Kajumbo.
Like to see the last, like to do the last mission, which is just a fucking flashback, and the final cutscene, like which will be, by the way, the third what's it called? Shit, staff roll that I will see. But yeah, to see the actual ending of the game, you need to build Mother Base to the fullest extent, which means grinding resources and waiting for 2 hours at a time, if not more, for them to finish building them. The upgrades, I mean. So I've been doing that. There's a guide that I was looking at, and it was like, hey, just build the FOB stuff, and it will speed that up. In a way, like if you build the fully upgraded Mother Base on an FOB, then technically it will be done faster because you don't need to wait the 2 hours. But I still don't have the resources to do it with. So I just have to gather the resources. And the thing is, I have 2 Mother Bases myself where they need to be. Yeah. Great. So now I need to farm all the resources I can. And then once that's done, give the orders to build the shit, waste time in the game so that the stuff will be built. And then gather more resources so I can repeat that. And by the way, every mission I do resets the riot suits and stuff like that, which is just great. I like sending people off on 40-minute missions that get reset after I do one 12-minute mission, if even that.
Such genius. Such Kajumbo.
So, Quiet is gone. She's dead. I mean, not really, but you know.
Yeah.
Quiet has left. And they, I guess, spoilers for MGS5. The game's only been out for like 7 years now.
Yeah.
And the ending has been spoiled for pretty much everyone.
Yep.
But you know. I was wrong about Kojima's usage of Quiet. Quiet in chapter 2, before she leaves, she speaks. She's allowed to actually have a character for a bit, not for long. And then I assume once you get her back, because it was introduced in a patch, I'm assuming she doesn't speak after that either. But I liked how they did the whole thing of Quiet was the assassin who tried to kill Snake in the beginning of the game, and then because Snake was nice to her, she basically sacrifices herself to keep Snake safe. Words.
Yeah.
Like I liked that. It wasn't like it wasn't a new thing, but it was well done. But that what else really happened in chapter 2? Not much. Like it was just a lot of grinding, and then some. Oh yeah, Emmerich. Not Emmerich. Yeah, that's Emmerich actually. Yes, Emmerich. Yeah, the shit with him happened. Do you know what happens to Emmerich, Labia?
Yes, I do.
All right. So yeah, that happened. I really liked how like right before he leaves the scene, he just turns into the angry video game nerd. Okay, have you seen the cutscene?
No, but I can guess.
Well, there's a part where he goes, and D-Dog, look at D-Dog. He's not actually a dog, regardless of what you call him. He's a wolf. What were you thinking? And then they're dragging him away while he's yelling. It's great. But yeah. Like if nothing else, Metal Gear Solid 5 is good in the sense that I now like it's good in the sense that I saw enough setup for the rest of the series that I actually want to go and at least watch someone else's playthrough of the series so I actually know what's going on. A self-contained thing, it's kind of stinky, but like it's
yeah.
I saw someone make the comparison that Metal Gear Solid 5 is like a really nice car that's missing a tire, and like the tire.
Yeah.
And the tire existed, but the tire won't exist anymore. And like if you pay more, then you will. If you pay more and spend more time in the car, then the people who made it will show you a picture of the tire being on the car and it driving around and shit. But you won't ever get that tire. And yes, that's a pretty apt analogy, I'd say.
Yeah.
Like I played a game.
Jesus.
I played a game, and it's fine. Like aside from the grind. It's one of those things where like I would enjoy the game a lot more if the grind wasn't there. If we discount the grind, it's actually very well designed. The gameplay sections, the story is kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
And like I'm gonna have to ask Mike because Mike seems to be allergic to anime bullshit. When Metal Gear is right there. Like I will need to ask him about Metal Gear 5's story specifically because I don't know how anime the rest of Metal Gear gets. I mean, aside from Revengeance, but Revengeance is I don't count Revengeance as a Metal Gear game anymore. Like it's a spin-off that's a big departure. So even if that game is very anime, that's not. I don't see that as like evidence that Metal Gear is very anime. But like this is a mainline game, and this game is very fucking anime.
It depends on what your terminology for anime is.
I mean, it's not creepy around girls anime, but it's very like battle shonen. In a lot of ways. Like
Not sure I follow.
Well, for me, like for me, the Battle Shonen thing is just like how the Metal Gear is treated as like this ultimate weapon of destruction, which is pretty much just like it's what I would expect out of a mech anime. Like it's because in those instead of Goku going Super Saiyan, Goku builds a better mech, and then so the Metal Gears and being handled the way they are is very shonen-y to me, and then Skullface and the Man on Fire as characters are written very mediocre to bad. Is the best way I can put it, and that's also weird. And then like having a shitty villain that tries to act imposing is also what I would consider very very battle anime. Because like sometimes you get like a Dio or a Grimjo or fucking I don't even know Pain, but they are in my experience they are the exception that prove the rule. And a lot of battle anime villains just tend to be like fucking I don't even really know who to point out. Like they tend to be underwhelming in a way. Either they're not imposing, or they are imposing, but there's not much to their character, or there is things to their character, but they're like they don't fit being a villain because they're not supposed to be. They're supposed to turn good, or things like that. There's like this big fucking Ouroboros circle of things of like if this is not wrong with that character, that is. And that's a very like battle anime thing to me as well. And like I feel like I can speak about battle anime stuff because that's the stuff that I watched the most. So that's what I would have the most points of reference for.
I'd say a little bit of it comes down to execution. Metal Gear is more than anything else. Metal Gear is G.I. Joe in a lot of ways. In terms of, here is serious military stuff. Also, slightly made up sci-fi bullshit. Very made up sci-fi bullshit. Also ninjas. And on top of that, I would say, like, the other big thing with Metal Gear, the comparison is intentionally Bond, right?
Yeah.
In terms of, I'm sure there's some degree of Japanese values going on because, I mean, Hideo Kojima is Japanese, but I would not say that I would compare it to a shonen anime in terms of that. I mean, some of the stuff is just generic action tropes in terms of this character is better than that character. We need to come up with something new to beat the new big threat. I do agree that the new Metal Gear stuff is just nonsense past a certain point, especially because, the Metal Gear that is introduced in Metal Gear 1 is like maybe 20 feet tall, and it's presented as a big threat. And when you see the prequels to that game, like Metal Gear Solid 5, the Sahelanthropus is fucking tall. Same the cliff faces in Afghanistan do.
Savio? We might have lost him.
He's gone.
The Sahelanthropus. It was too much
The
to handle.
clouds came.
Yeah. Oh boy.
What's really on?
Oh, okay.
There
He's
he is.
back.
Yeah. Who?
You're back.
Oh, good. Okay, I'm gonna plug my phone in.
All right, I guess.
I was wondering why you weren't saying anything. I was thinking, oh, you must be encouraging me to keep talking.
Keep going. This is very intriguing.
So yeah.
Okay, the phone's in. So I'm
right.
back on limited internet, but it's consistent. So I guess that's just what I got to do whenever I'm recording with you guys.
Yeah, maybe. So yeah.
Either which way. Yeah. When did you lose me?
Oh, the Sahelanthropus is tall.
Yeah, this Sahelanthropus is like 200 feet fucking tall, so it makes every Metal Gear that came after it in the series look ridiculous. But yeah, and I mean the characters changing allegiances, characters starting off as good guys and becoming bad guys and becoming good guys. That is a shonen thing, but it's also very much an espionage thing. It's very much a spy movie thing.
Yeah.
You don't know who everyone's really working for.
Yeah, that stuff I'm fine with. Yeah, go ahead.
Like, it would be a shonen thing if the bad guy becomes a good guy because he has seen the hero's justice and he saw how strong he is and he admires him, right?
Yeah.
With rare exceptions like Vegeta, who more or less is just kind of like, well, I got nothing else to do. Guess I'll just sit around and become a good guy. Metal Gear, generally when a bad guy becomes a good guy, it's because he was actually on your side the whole time and he just didn't know it. And it turns out it was the Patriots! The lolly lule low! Oh! Who could have this lust for revenge? Ooh!
But yeah, the things that hit me with the biggest anime shit is literally just the way the Metal Gear is handled and the fucking the Man on Fire. I'm still of the opinion that the Man on Fire could have been written out of the game and the game would have been better.
It's it's them trying to end Big Boss's arc by putting him up against his original nemesis. But like I said last time, it's just too weird because, I mean, Volgin was more of a dipshit than anything else in the grand scheme of things. A dangerous dipshit. But
Yeah.
in terms of conspiracy, he was not really a problem.
But yeah, also, I do have a question. So
What's that?
was Strangelove the boss?
No.
Okay. Because they didn't explain that in the game pretty well.
Yes, Metal Gear Solid 5 very much expects you to have already played quite a bit of the series. So that could very much be a problem.
But yeah, one thing I don't like about the game is how, well, it's twofold. I don't like how Raiden is included in the game, even if he's just like you get Raiden's exoskeleton to put on Big Boss as thing for doing all of the story missions on S rank.
I don't remember that being a thing at all.
But you need to do
What are you
both.
talking about?
Apparently, I learned this through the guide that I was doing. Apparently, Raiden has a skin in the game that gives the exoskeleton to Big Boss. Like he looks pretty much just like Raiden, but with Big Boss's face, I guess. I don't know. I don't have the skin, but it's a skin that you can get for doing getting S ranks on all of the story missions, like every single one, even in chapter 2. And once you do that, you get to play as Raiden, and you drum faster and jump higher, and it's just really dumb. Like
He's got the
I like
Luigi
it.
bonuses.
like I mean, I'm fine from a gameplay standpoint and stuff like that, but like I don't know, it to me it feels like once again it's a thing of like Revengeance feels a bit too like cut off from the rest of Metal Gear to me. Like I know that Raiden is the protagonist of Metal Gear 2, I think, but it's a thing of like it's just weird to me.
Metal. This is so. Here's the thing. That's the thing. Part of the thing about like not being there for the whole series. There is certainly a middle step between Metal Gear Solid 5 and Revengeance. That middle step is called Metal Gear Solid 4. You have not played it, so it seems like a massive jump. On top of that, I would say Metal Gear is very happy to do Easter eggs that, from a technological perspective, make no fucking sense. Part of the gimmick with Metal Gear Solid 3 was that radar had not been invented yet, but I'm pretty sure that if you beat the game like twice or whatever, you get a radar. Let's see, what else was there? Fucking Metal Gear Solid 3, if you beat the game, the next time you start up any game after beating it, you get the boss's signature gun, which is a M16 with a shortened barrel, a shortened stock, and a double drum magazine. So what you'd think is, oh, this is just a slightly more improved but like less accurate version of the M16. No, because the double drum magazine forms an infinity symbol, it has infinite ammo.
Ah,
Reloading. Yeah. Oh, fucking the best one is, of course, Metal Gear Solid 1, the very first one. If you beat the game, and you beat the game saving Otacon instead of saving Meryl, then Snake starts the next playthrough with access to the bandana, which he already has, but it's a special bandana that as long as Snake is wearing it, he has infinite ammo. And the really goofy thing is, near the end of Metal Gear Solid 2, there's a signature sequence where Raiden and Snake are fighting a horde of ninjas together. And at the start of the fight, Raiden's got this crazy katana, this crazy electric katana, and he's figuring like he's got this. And he says to Snake, like, how are you gonna keep up with this? This is a horde of like a nearly infinite horde of cyborg ninjas, and you've got what? Your fists and a gun? And Snake just points to his headband as the sign that he will be able to handle this, which implies that the infinite ammo headband is canon.
Sure, why not? I mean, look, didn't they put Otacon into the Metal Gear? Maybe it's something to do with that.
Otacon made the Metal Gear in Metal Gear Solid. He made Rex. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Am I confusing it? Is Otacon not HAL?
Otacon is the son of Hal.
Ah, okay.
Otacon's not that old. Metal Gear Solid happens in like 2008, and Metal Gear Solid 5 happens in 84. So if Otacon went for 24 years still looking like that, my God, he's drinking from the fountain of youth. But what was I going to say? Shit, I had something. Right. This might have been a Ground Zeroes exclusive thing, but in Phantom Pain, can't you straight up unlock as an alternate attire the original PS1 model of Snake from Metal Gear Solid 1 on PS1?
Oh yes, you can. I also played the game with that for a bit.
Yeah.
But it looked too weird because it gives the PS1 model of Snake a high res Walkman. I didn't like that. It weirded me out.
That is funny. That reminds me of one of my all-time favorite goofy GIFs of stuff in Metal Gear. So there's a dialogue bit in Metal Gear Solid 4 when you run into Meryl. And she looks at Snake and says, "Snake, you haven't changed a bit." And the camera's focused on her, then it cuts to Snake. And it's supposed to be kind of a sad moment because Snake's obviously ancient by that point. But at some point in Metal Gear Solid 4, you unlock the ability to change Snake's model out for the Metal Gear Solid 1 Snake. So people took that scene, and she goes, "Snake, you haven't changed a bit." Hard cut from like Super HD 2008 model of Meryl to Metal Gear Solid 1 98 PS1 Snake just standing there.
Yeah, she was right. Also, I think the reward for finishing Metal Gear 5 just normally is a PS1 model of, I'm forgetting the guy's name, the ninja.
Yes, it is of what's his name? Something Fox. But yes, generally speaking, one of the more recurring Easter egg rewards is to give you something related to. It's not Silent Fox, is it?
I don't think so.
Either which way, yes. Generally speaking, one of the most common ones is letting you replace models with him.
I see.
Because everybody loved him.
But yeah, that's Metal Gear, I guess. I don't really know what else to say. It's been a fucking grind trying to actually get Maru base up. And
sounds like it. I'm glad I dropped that game.
I'm half considering just watching the final mission on YouTube and just saying I beat the game. Honestly,
that'd be close enough for all intents and purposes.
I mean, I am literally the only thing I'm waiting for on that is just to unlock the mission. That's the thing that's keeping me from finishing the game. Just unlocking it. Oh yeah, I wanted to complain about one mission. Somehow they did it. They made a mission worse than Code Talker.
Okay.
So there's a mission that's the penultimate mission actually. The one where Quiet leaves. But you have to go and fetch Quiet. So you go and fetch Quiet. And then Quiet is like, "Hey, here, have a rocket launcher." And then 5 tanks show up. And there's 10 waves. And the rocket launcher she gives you the rocket launcher she gives you has 9 ammo, and it takes 3 to 4 shots to take out a tank. So
Okay.
yeah. And there's also people coming in, and also like or like the fucking modern equivalent of Havachas. I don't know what those types of like anti-air missile launchers are called, but they're basically Havachas. And then those things come in, so you can't be outside. But people are also infiltrating the one building that's on the map. So you need to fight indoors while fighting tanks, while fighting the people within Havachas. And quiet, you also need to keep quiet safe, because if you're not shooting at the tanks enough, then she starts shooting the tanks with a fucking sniper rifle, and then she dies nearly. And like it's one of, like it's like they designed a mission entirely just to show off that the way the game is designed is not supposed to handle combat. And like I gathered that from the game, guys. I don't need an exact mission to tell me, hey, you're not supposed to do things loud in this game. I know. And it's like it's the penultimate mission of the game. Like shit. It's I don't even know what like it took me about at least 2 hours to beat the mission, because something kept going wrong. Usually it was people like the tanks shot me because they can see you through the walls sometimes. Not always, but sometimes. And when they see you through the walls, boy.
That is a special tank power. They have that.
Yeah. So yeah, it took me like a fucking 2 hours, and then after a while I was just like the game kept pushing the chicken head in my face. So I put on the chicken head, not because I needed it, because it doesn't actually fucking help with that mission, but because I want the game to fucking shut up. Because I wasn't getting any score anyway. So why should I give a fuck? But yeah, like the only thing the chicken head does, both of them, is that one of them makes it so they can't see you 3 times, and the other one makes it so they can't see you at all, which would be fine for infiltration missions if you can't do them. But the problem here is that people kept shooting me too much, and there was no reprieve from the fucking 50 million waves of people rushing Snake at any time. And I don't know about you, but like not being seen doesn't really help when they are directly shooting me at the moment. Like I don't know what you think, but yeah, like it's while playing through the game, I was like, man, maybe I could do a series on it eventually, but I don't know. Like Code Talker was a big enough sell, bad enough sell as is, and that mission would be one of those. Like I don't like that's hell. So yeah. So yeah, I think that's Metal Gear.
All right. What else did you do this past week?
Well, let's see if I remember anything of value. I didn't really play. Oh yeah, I made a mistake this week.
We all make mistakes sometimes.
So, for a while, my family has been asking me to get a game that I can play with my niece because she wants to play games with me. And I had like a budget of $20. So I looked through the sale that's ongoing on PlayStation, I think. And I tried to find a game that I have some interest in, and she would also be interested in, at least as far as I know. Now, she did like the game, but I did still regret buying it because I bought the fucking Spyro Reignited trilogy, and then I booted the game up. I saw the Activision logo, and I was just so fucking disappointed.
Well, to be fair, they're gonna be dead soon.
I mean, good. But, I still feel bad that I gave money to Bobby Kotick, like any amount. Like I did the maths. I only gave him 7.
To be fair, the government's probably gonna take all that money back soon.
Okay, good. I hope they do. But yeah, like fucking, I did the maths. I only gave him like $17 at most, but that's still 17 more than I wanted to. On the bright side, like I guess that is the bright side that I only gave him $17, and that's at least I didn't pay full price. But on the bright side, I actually like Spyro.
All right.
It's the first collectathon that I'm actually enjoying.
Because doesn't every time that you got to collect something, they throw a new gimmick at you?
Well, that and it's also like that's not the whole thing. Collecting, like it's more of an exploration thing than a collectathon thing. Because like I know that's a weird like difference to make in collectathons, but to me it feels like with Spyro, it's more about the actually like using the collectibles to guide you on to explore the whole map. Whereas in other collectathons, exploring the whole map to find the collectibles is the thing.
Yeah.
And I like it better when the way Spyro does it, where there's always like gems or whatever the fuck for me to look for in a map, and then just go and pick them up, and it leads me down like an alleyway, and there's like a hidden egg or whatever. Like I enjoy that a lot more than I enjoy having to fight the fucking big swamp. Or like I don't even know. I didn't play enough of Banjo-Kazooie because it was so boring to me. I legitimately cannot point out any fucking level. I guess the mountain with the like, but there's this like beachy area with crabs, and they have like palm trees that you can jump on, and like there's a mountain with water reserves and crabs too. That's the only level of Banjo-Kazooie that I remember. So I guess that it's better than that.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny that fucking Nuts and Bolts is still the only Banjo-Kazooie that I was able to actually finish. The first one.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, Spyro's fun. I'm enjoying the fucking the way it is done. Like I enjoy it. I don't even know what to say. Like it's good children's entertainment, and I can appreciate it as such.
Yeah.
And what else? I don't really know. I already have like ran into the thing of half of the dragons you rescue just going, "Hey Spyro," and then disappearing.
Huh.
But then I don't.
Exciting.
But I don't actually know how far I am into the game, because the thing says that I'm 53% done. So yeah. I don't know. We'll see, I guess. And I also bought another game from that 20 bucks, which was Momodora Reverie Under the Moonlight, which I bought specifically because a while back, Brian got it for me, or rather, he had a code and he gave it to me. But still, and I couldn't run it on PC because my PC. So I bought the game because it was like $3. And it's when did the whole trend of trying to mimic Souls become like a big thing? It was after 2016, right?
I would have said the first was Lords of the Fallen. That was about 2014 or 2015, wasn't it?
I don't remember.
But of course, the first one to hop on the train is always the stinkiest one, because that's the one that they made in a big rush to try and catch the trend.
Yeah.
Yep.
If I remember that Spyro was Activision, I would have bought fucking Bloodborne instead. The thing. And I would have enjoyed it less. I know that, but at least my money wouldn't go to Activision. But I'm bringing it up. I'm bringing it up because while looking at Bloodborne, because I was whenever I get any budget, I try to make it so I get the most games I can, because I don't get to buy games a lot, and so
yeah.
If Bloodborne was like, I don't know, $5 less, I probably would have went for that, because I do kind of want, like, it's not even that I want to play Bloodborne. I want to experience a FromSoft Souls, like, so just so I can have freaking a point of reference in that too. But if it was just like $5 less, I would have bought that and Lords of the Fallen, and I would have done a fucking series on that, just so I can make the suffrage reach a wider audience.
It's confirmed. Bloodborne has given you the ability to vote. Bloodborne is a very different beast from Dark Souls, to be fair.
Yeah, it seems like the only like part of the thing is that like I'm only slightly interested in the spin-offs of Souls, because I don't like the whole medieval dark fantasy thing. It's more the medieval and less the dark fantasy. But I don't like medieval as a setting. And so like knights and shit is just like boring to me. I don't really have a reason to play Dark Souls or Elden Ring for that matter. And the thing with Elden Ring too is that like it's too long for my taste. And then
Elden Ring is very long.
Yeah. And so like that leaves Bloodborne and Sekiro. And I would buy Sekiro. But you know, I thought about it. And I realized Sekiro was also published by Activision.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I like I will need to think over that for a bit, because on one hand, I do legitimately want to give Sekiro a chance. But the thing is, when I try to give a chance to a game that I don't think I will like, I buy like the Ultimate Edition, so it will have the most chances to win me over. Which actually, like, I do have a precedent for it, because The Witcher 3 is mediocre, but I still stand by saying that the Blood and Wines DLC is actually kind of good. It's not like, you know, the great experience that people say The Witcher 3 is, but Blood and Wines puts Witcher 3 from a 4 up to like a 5.5 maybe. So, yeah. And that's why I when I buy a game that I don't think I would like, I try to go for the thing that comes with all of the DLC, so I can spend as much time with the game as I feel like.
Yeah.
The problem with that is that, once again, Sekiro is published by Activision. I don't want to give Activision money. So
Yeah.
So like I would buy the Game of the Year edition or whatever, so I can get the DLC too. But I also want to buy the game used, which means that I can't buy the Game of the Year edition because the codes would have already been used. So basically, yeah.
Did Sekiro have DLC?
Apparently so.
It would have been just like extra arms. I don't. Weird.
But yeah, so basically, what I'm saying is that I'm either gonna get the game used, or I'm gonna get the game used when I see it used for a good price, or I will wait until Activision is assimilated into Microsoft.
Yeah.
And then buy the game.
Fair.
So yeah. And then yeah, Momodora is I'd say Momodora is I don't even know how to like call it. It's reminiscent of Souls to me in a lot of ways, but not in a way that it's overwhelmingly trying to be Souls. And that makes it better in my opinion. Like it's a thing where like I can point at specific design elements about the game and go, yeah, that I think that may be from Souls. But it's also taking inspiration from other games. So it's not just, you know, trying to be Souls. It has its own flavor.
Yeah.
Because the game is inspired by Metroid, because it's a Metroidvania. Who would have thunk? But it's inspired by Metroid. It's inspired by Mega Man, you know, in its game design, or its level design rather, in a lot of ways. Like there's a lot of enemies, but I look at them and I just see the Mega Man enemy that they are standing for, just 1-to-1. But then the game has a menu system that's kind of reminiscent of Souls, where the game doesn't actually stop. You need to press pause to stop. And the way the bosses are designed is also reminiscent of Souls, because they hit a lot harder than you do. There's also there's also a Estus Flask stand-in that I don't remember the name of in the game, but whatever. They're Estus Flasks, and also bonfires.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
game is reminiscent of Souls, but Souls is not the only thing it has to offer. So I'm fine with this. for some part, like it's a thing where like I don't like Metroidvanias, I don't like Souls likes, so I yeah. So I'm playing the game and I'm like, well, I see what it's going for. I'm enjoying it for executing what I think it's trying to go for from the way it's telling me. I'm enjoying that part. But as a video game, like I don't really like playing it, or I don't even know what to say. Like I like seeing how it does its own spin on things, and seeing how it executes stuff. But like I don't enjoy the gameplay part, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And like once again, the level design is very Mega Man, but instead of or a slide, you have a roll because Dark Souls.
Meh.
Like it's a weird mix, and it's interesting. Is the best way I can put it. Like I wouldn't call it bad. I don't know if I would call it good yet. Like it executes the things that it's trying to go for well, but I'm still trying to figure out if I think that it does well on its own right. Like I want to see if the game can stand on its own legs rather than just being like, hey, here's parts of Metroid, parts of Mega Man, and parts of Dark Souls, and then just having that be the gimmick.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure that out. And then, speaking of that, something hit me recently. So
Did you sue?
not yet, but like I was thinking about it, and as much as I may have a distaste for hearing Elden Ring everywhere, there is one thing that I have to be grateful for Elden Ring for.
What's that?
Now there is legitimately zero reason to play Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
That is true.
Because previously you could say, oh well, I can't play Dark Souls in an open world. Now you can. Now there's Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Just play Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Like I can promise to you, I haven't played Elden Ring. I can promise to you, Elden Ring is 1,000 times better than fucking Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
I bet on that, yeah.
And it also wasn't made by fucking Ubisoft. So that's a bonus.
I love bonuses.
Then yeah, that's pretty much the video game stuff, I think. I did recently read that that FromSoft is gonna work on like an anime game for some reason.
Yeah, I've been wondering about that. I have to imagine From's probably done with Souls-likes after Elden Ring.
Well, that anime girl game is just gonna be like cute anime girls fighting eldritch abominations, dying in 2 hits.
Ah, so they had a Code Vein or whatever that was.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Code Vein was more. Code Vein was edgy anime. It wasn't cute anime.
I guess. All I know is I played that game for 10 minutes and I was like, oh, fuck this. This feels like shit.
Yeah.
I mean, realistically speaking, for From, outside of just doing Elden Ring 2, which would probably take him another half decade to finish, because my god, like, where do they go up from Elden Ring? You can't really. It's Dark Souls on steroids. You can't just, like, there is no way to go more steroids.
MMO.
Without turning into some kind of Akira Tetsuo beast,
Yeah. Look forward to the Dark Souls MMO.
Oh god. Well, on some level, it already is.
I was about to make that, same argument there.
Like, I'm not seeing 30 guys rolling down the street killing random mobs. but I am seeing 30 messages of finger butthole.
I mean, have you tried it
Oh my
though?
god.
Maybe it'll work this time. Yeah.
So here's the thing. One of the enemies in the game is a giant, like, hand spider. And if you kill it, there's a random chance it will drop a great club that is a giant finger.
Oh yeah. You told us already that it could
Yeah.
actually be a thing.
So people like to go and get backstabs with it. Finger butthole.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, the entirety of my first playthrough through Elden Ring, I was playing offline, so I didn't see messages. But if I go and play it now that I've got actual Wi-Fi, I'm probably going to be bombarded with finger butthole.
Yeah. And is this a dog?
Yeah.
But yeah. So that, I guess, going with keeping with news topics for a bit while I get at the other stuff that I done. I did also read that apparently the whole thing with Jim Carrey saying that he's gonna retire, maybe him trying to force either Paramount or Stega's hand into letting him be in a fat suit for Eggman.
Ha!
Because apparently he's been lobbying them for the past 2 movies.
That would actually be great. I remember, wasn't there speculation after the first Sonic movie ended? Didn't he end up in like a land of candy, and people were speculating that lead to Fat Eggman?
Oh, he went to a mushroom planet,
Ah,
and
like people
then
were thinking he'd just eat the whole planet and become Eggman.
yeah.
I guess he's not really. I guess he's not really Eggman until he gets fat, is he? He's just
Well,
Robotnik until then.
Well, Sonic did call him Eggman and Egghead, so I don't know.
Oh, in this case, it's supposed to be because he's bald rather than because he's fat. I see.
Yeah, but once again, apparently Jim Carrey has been trying to get himself into a fat suit. So if he does, I'm gonna laugh.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be fine with him doing a more proper representation of Eggman, especially since there were scenes where like the thing is I don't think they let him have the like goggles down either. But there were a couple scenes where he has his goggles down, and even though he's not fat, he is Eggman. Like he stops being Jim Carrey and actually starts being Eggman, and it's great. So like if he can get closer to that, and apparently he wants to, then that may be great. Like just straight up good, really good.
Yeah. The potential's definitely there.
Yeah. And then also, Crush 40 is also rumored to be in talks to do music for the movie.
Oh, man.
Holy shit.
I mean,
if you're going to bring in Shadow, you got to have Crush 40.
Yeah. Like, people are saying Live and Learn. Live and Learn would make sense. I'm pulling for I Am All of Me. Because that's...
I feel like they'd have to do both.
Yeah.
Because those are the 2 iconic ones that everyone thinks of for Sonic.
I mean, Live and Learn is like the Live and Learn is the ending theme of Sonic Adventure 2, and then all of me is the main theme for Shadow the Hedgehog, I think. Like the game, not the character, but it may as well be the one for the character too.
Yeah.
Although I guess for the character, depending on how edgy they make him, they could also use Death Rains or something like that. there is a Sonic song titled Death Rains or something similar like that. And apparently one of the lyrics is like, heaven doesn't exist, hell is a joke, or something like that.
Okay, so they're going to probably have a joke. I can't see in Sonic 3 them actually having Shadow carry a gun for any reasonable length of time. But they got to have a joke at some point in the movie about Shadow using a gun. And Sonic just going, what?
Yeah, either that, or there's gonna have him like someone will give something weird, something to Shadow, and he just starts cocking it like it's a shotgun.
Yeah. Somebody hands him Sonic at the end of the movie. Sonic and Shadow are finally friends. Sonic hands him a chili dog. Shadow cocks the chili dog.
Yeah. And then he goes, it's fully automatic. And then cut the credits.
Yeah. It's just rapidly firing bits of onion everywhere.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the third movie. Like having seen the other two now, I actually am looking forward to it, especially if they can get the same guy who wrote the first two, which apparently
All right.
they haven't yet, but he's trying to get in. So I don't know, but yeah. And then the other things that I did is well, one of them I can show you, the other one I can't because it's a video file, and that makes it harder to show. Just real quick, But I have been working on a new avatar. I don't know where to put this. I mean, this won't get used, and I will get to why that is later. But yeah, the thing is, this one turned out good, and then there's still things that made it so I can't use it.
That looks like a logo from Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories.
I mean, look, Nomura inspired my taste a lot. That's the guy's name, right?
Yes, Tetsuya Nomura.
Yeah. I never played Kingdom Hearts, but I spent a couple of years trying to buy it, and I spent the time when I couldn't buy it watching Kingdom Hearts. So he is to blame. I love belts as much. I love belts, leather, and zippers as much as I do because of him. But yeah. So the reason I can't use this is because recently I saw a suit go up for sale, and I just pointed out how much it fucking cost to my mom, so she knows what to expect with just getting the resources for it. And by the way, the suit was $3,000. It was well made. Don't get me wrong. It was worth it. Just not for the normal person.
Yeah.
But yeah, after seeing that, for the longest time, my mom was against me drawing myself with Digitrade feet because how do we do that? But that suit had Digitrade feet. And so she went, you know what? The suits without that padding look lame, so we're gonna do that too. So I got the green light to draw myself with Digitrade feet very much, which meant that I have to redesign my persona to have Digitrade feet. Which isn't a big design change, but it's a big enough design change, And I'm working on that on the side while we do the podcast.
All right.
So yeah, that. It also seems like I guess to go into more personal stuff before I end my week. I guess it seems like she finally got it, like with me with my asexuality. Like it only took for like some random asshole on TikTok talking about it, but But she came in there yesterday and showed me the video, and she was like, "So that means you're not lost." No, I've been trying to tell you this for a while, but no. And yeah, so that's cool. My sister still thinks I'm gay, but as long as she doesn't try to set hookups for me, I don't really care. And yeah, I think that's my week.
All right. My week hasn't been terribly exciting. I actually decided to skip SmackDown last night. I didn't feel like investing the 2 hours, and now I have the network, so I can just watch it, skipping most of the ads. And on top of that, because the network, I'm watching a stream of it, I can skip anything involving the Usos that doesn't include Roman. I can skip anything that features Corbin. And something occurred to me. I don't like Shinsuke. Well, no, that's not entirely true. But Shinsuke's the shits. But I don't want to actively skip Shinsuke segments. Whereas Corbin and the Usos are like anti-TV. Like, Shinsuke's a terrible wrestler. And he can't cut promos. And his whole gimmick is he comes to the ring having an epileptic seizure. But at least it's entertaining, but not good. It's entertaining, but not good. Like, Corbin and Usos They remind me of Del Rio. It's entertainment vacuums. If there's anything entertaining going on in their radius, they suck it up.
They feast on the entertainment.
Yeah.
They need it for sustenance.
I remember my mom pointed this out a while ago, and it shocked me because I remembered it. The Usos have only ever did one thing entertaining in their entire career, which shocked me because I don't remember them ever doing anything entertaining in their career, which was for that little run in the early 2010s when they were faces, and they would come out and do the little, like, the Samoan tribal dance.
Yeah, the haka.
That was actually cool. That was literally the only entertaining thing the Usos have done in their entire fucking careers.
I don't know. I can point out one other thing that the Usos have done that was entertaining.
What's that?
That one time when the Usos did the we say ooh, y'all say, or we say ooh, y'all say oh, or whatever thing, where they did that and it cut to like this female fan who just had none of that shit.
Yeah. I love that Goku still posts that gif every time the Usos come on because that's perfect. It's perfect because the Usos come out and they do their whole routine where they imitate the more famous members of their family. And they're like, yeah, get hyped. It's us. We're the Usos. And then I'm just standing there like that woman going, no. It's honestly hard for me to think up any acts in the company right now that I just do not like more thoroughly than Usos and Corbin. Which is incredible for me. Like, it's actually a massive improvement because I could have told you 10 years ago lots of guys in the company I liked less than the Usos. Kali's gone, thank God. Speaking of which, I did. Finally. When I got the network, I watched the first couple matches of Payback or Backlash. I don't fucking know. Okay, so of course, Cody and Seth tore the house down in a kind of spotty match, but fun match nonetheless. Where there was actually, I thought, a fairly fun story to it, in that Seth is too arrogant and keeps paying the price. Which raises the question of, is Cody actually that good, or is he just getting lucky that he's wound up going against known narcissist Seth Rollins?
Mm-hmm.
But they did a lot of really cool bits. One that I really loved is Seth getting so high on himself. He says, you know what? Fuck you, Cody. I'm going to do the bionic elbow because fuck you and fuck your dad. And Cody ducks the elbow and crossroads him. I thought that was an awesome spot. That's been a really fun program. Then it was Lashley versus Omos. Well, it wasn't the complete shit. Well, the funny thing is that I was watching it with my dad, and my dad had the perfect observation about him, which is, this guy could have potential in 3 years.
Who, Bobby Lashley?
Yeah. No, well, Bobby Lashley's going to be 50 in 3 years.
That's crazy.
Yeah, almost. Vince cannot stop calling up giants and like bodybuilders up too early from developmental. Vince has no fucking patience. Like, it happens constantly. Anytime someone shows up in developmental who is over 6'3" and over fucking 200 pounds, Vince is like, I gotta have them now. And it's like, Vince, if you waited 2 or 3 years...
He needs their boots for SummerSlam. You don't understand.
He does. Like, the thing is, always, Vince wants the cheap pop now. He wants the increased pay-per-view buys now. Well, nowadays it ain't pay-per-view buys, it's network subscriptions, but still.
Yep.
And it's like, Vince, if you waited just 2, 3, 4 years, you would have an actual, star that could keep the company going. Well, Brock Lesnar was shit for so long because Vince pulled the trigger so early on him,
Mm-hmm.
If Brock would have stayed under OVW for a couple more years, we probably would have got a Brock that wasn't such a narcissistic fuck who killed near everyone he got in the ring with and went over to UFC because he got mad and all this. And we would have got the Brock we have now, which is a much better version of Brock.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fuck. And it happened again with Omos. And Omos doesn't seem to be an arrogant asshole like Brock was. But you can see Omos moves way better than Khali ever did, which is a massive improvement. And If you can move better than Kali did, then you're already a decent giant.
You're already only mediocre.
The thing always is, though, and this is what me and my dad were talking about at the time, like, the goal with a giant is you want them to be at the level of Kane. Because Kane is probably the best giant there's ever been in wrestling.
Absolutely.
Omos probably could be there if he had 2 or 3 more years of training instead of actively wrestling. But instead, he's not going to train, so he's not going to be able to get a whole lot better other than what he can learn in the ring doing shows. And on top of that, doing actual ring work is going to tear his body up. So that he has to retire way faster than he would have if he was able to spend more time in developmental learning to work safely. But either which way, for it to be Bobby Lashley, who was never a super talented wrestler, but he's definitely a bit better now than he used to be back in his original run. And Omos, who is a giant who can move well for a giant, but isn't very well trained. I thought this match wasn't the complete shits. I thought it was fun enough for a Hogan versus Andre kind of style matchup, right? Because it's the Hogan-Andre thing. Because Hogan put against most wrestlers would be the giant, but Hogan versus Andre, Hogan's the little man. Same lines here. Bobby Lashley, you put against the regular wrestler, he's the big man. But against Omos, Bobby Lashley's tiny. So I thought that was fun. I like.
So what I'm hearing is that Bobby Lashley started doing planchas.
Bobby Lashley, I feel like did do something relatively high flying, but I don't even remember. I only remember a couple spots. But MVP is always great. I am so glad MVP is back.
Yeah.
And I know MVP can't wrestle anymore because of some injury, right?
I know he's on a very limited in-ring performance schedule. He's like wrestled only a handful of times in the couple of years he's been back. So there's it's either his age and he doesn't want to go in the ring anymore, or there is an injury that's holding him back. I don't remember which one.
But either which way, putting him in the manager role, like, he works so well.
Absolutely.
Always, of course, like one of the smartest decisions, because, like, MVP is probably pretty up there in terms of guys who can work with modern day scripts and make it sound good. Because that's like a real fucking talent with how shitty the day scripts are, and how most wrestlers, generally speaking, are not good actors. And what they are asked to do nowadays is not cut promos; they are asked to act, to read off a script. And yeah, MVP is like one of the only guys who makes it sound like he isn't actually reading off a script. And I got to see a bit of Edge and AJ. I did not see the end of the match because everybody started going to bed. It was rather late at night. But that match, you know, I know you want to work the arm in a match where one of the guys, if the face is supposed to have an injured shoulder, you work the shoulder. But there also has to come a certain point where it's like, okay, stop working the shoulder. Because after a certain point, the question becomes, well, is Edge just going to take AJ's arm out of it, like rip his arm off? There comes a certain point where it's like, okay, he's not only put him in several arm bars and shoulder breakers and all this, that, and another, but he's also slammed the shoulder into the turnbuckle a couple times, slammed the shoulder into the steel stairs a couple times. And it's like, when you compare to other matches where the arm gets worked much lighter and wasn't even injured ahead of time, and the guy taps out, there has to come a certain point, even if, like, AJ Styles is not Superman. He's not one of those wrestlers where it's like, oh, you need to work it real fucking hard before he'll tap. So it's like, there comes a certain point where it's like, Edge, okay, switch to your normal moves, man, because it's getting ridiculous. Like,
now he was trying to show
the point where
he was trying to show that he has a repertoire. The list of Edge.
It gets to a point where it's like, the ref should have just called the match off. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there's supposed to be a certain point, and this is a bit of consistency, and WWE hates consistency in booking matches, but there have been times where a match has been called off by the ref, and kayfabe, of course, because a wrestler's limb got worked too hard. And Edge was working the arm harder than I have seen any wrestler ever work the fucking arm. which means the ref looks like an idiot for not calling the match. But of course, the ending of the match for just going forward, because the rest of the stuff, I do know the rest of the card, how it all turned out. But the match ends with Rhea Ripley comes in masked and she fucks AJ. Not that way. Get your mind out of the gutter. And
Live-size celebration.
It turns out Edge is pretty well discreetly restarting the Brood, but now he's in the role of Gangrel.
Yeah.
The role of Edge and Christian now goes to Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley. Which, on one hand, I love this because Edge is fucking awesome. Edge looks haggard in the face because he's an older man. But we were pointing this out when we were watching it. Edge, in terms of physique, looks better now than he ever has before.
Yeah, I go back and look at his run from 2007 when he was off the steroids to the end of his career. It's like, and then compare that to now. It's like an entirely different person. He's friggin' ripped.
Yeah. And I have to assume part of that's probably because he's married to Beth Phoenix now, who presumably is a little bit more of an expert in terms of actual bodybuilding than Mr. I'll just take a needle in the ass Edge.
Right.
And of course, I've said before and had the goofy half argument with Ted in the wrestling thread. I'm a Rhea Ripley mark, so I'm happy to see she's doing some stuff. I haven't got to see anything of Damian Priest yet. Is he any good?
I really enjoy his work. He's a deceptively large guy, if you didn't notice, but he moves very, very well for his size.
Well, when they put him next to Edge, he's going to look a bit small because Edge is freakishly
small.
Edge
himself is like 6'7" or something crazy like that.
Yeah. That's always the funny thing about Edge, because Edge was always put as the underdog in pretty well every matchup, and it was usually built up as Edge is reliant on cheating because he's the ultimate opportunist. But near every match Edge was in, Edge towered over his opponent, so it's like, he doesn't seem like the underdog.
Right.
Edge needs to cheat to beat the behemoth, Rey Mysterio.
Yeah. I do have to raise the question, though. Intergender, violence, I guess, is still pretty rare, right? So...
it's certainly not normal.
So, is it not kind of odd for them to be bringing Rhea into this unless they have a gimmick planned of, next month AJ's going to have a girl on his behalf and they'll have the whoever fight Rhea, right?
Right.
Because I can't really see them just having Rhea be out there to fucking pump handle slam every single person Edge gets into beef with.
Yeah.
The same way that Damian Priest would, you know?
It's something that is working for them in the very short term at the moment because Rhea is fresh off her breakup with Liv Morgan, so that's one person already built in as opposition for Rhea. But after that, then what? You can't just slap another female alongside whoever else Edge and Priest are working against for that month. So
yeah, there's a couple gimmicks they could run through, but I mean, even if they want to stick to wrestlers who are real life couples. Have they acknowledged Bianca Belair and Montez Ford's relationship on air yet?
They have. They never do anything with it, though.
And they are almost certainly not going to want to really do much with Seth and Becky because even though they have acknowledged their marriage on air, Seth is near always a heel and Becky is near always a face, right?
Right.
I know Becky's
They're actually both heels
now.
at the moment. And so that just wouldn't work on the basis that that's two heels going at it, and that won't work.
Yeah, Seth is not going to turn face to fight Edge. Seth Rollins cannot be a face.
Plus, they've already had an extensive program in years past, and they're not going to go right back over to that.
Yeah. So, and I mean, Becky's probably going to, once the whole Becky-Bianca thing ends, Becky's probably going to turn face anyways, because she's money as a face.
Right.
Becky's only really a heel right now because they had to turn her heel after they fucked over Bianca so badly. And, sorry, give me just a second.
All right.
Shit.
Did somebody hand you food?
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
It's storming like mad out there right now. Thank God I switched to my phone. Otherwise, I'd just be dead. And so I've been handed a grilled cheese and tomato soup.
Woo!
Yeah, pretty good combo right there.
I'm a fan.
Yeah. In terms of what else happened on Backlash that was really important, Roman and the Usos beat McIntyre and RK Bro, so the tag titles are now unified. Do you think that they're going to lead into this? They're going to have RK Bro break up?
No. Randy's having too much fun nowadays.
In which case, what I wonder is, because Roman's got to be handing off the title soon.
No.
We've been
You're
hearing-
getting it wrong. Roman will beat both of the Usos with one hand tied behind his back to unify the tag team championships with the Universal title.
Well, to be fair, Vince never liked tag teams to begin with, so I wouldn't be shocked at him getting rid of the tag belts. But
yeah.
So what I'm thinking is Roman's going to be dropping the title sometime soon, not just because he's been holding it for well over a year now, and generally speaking, title reigns don't go much longer than that. But also, like, hasn't there been rumblings for a while Roman's looking into slowing down, if not outright retiring?
Yes, and actually just this past couple of days it was announced he's been taken off the upcoming Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. He's been removed from the poster, so it looks like the time he will be taking off is coming sooner rather than later.
Yeah. So I think the inevitable thing is have the Usos drop the tag titles back to RK Bro, right?
Right.
Have Roman kick the Usos out. Maybe have Roman finally get sick of Paul Heyman and his shit and kick him out. And it's after Roman's been divorced from his support structure that's kept him going for this whole title reign. That's when Cody's able to snatch it off, right?
Yeah.
And they've had time because this will probably take a couple months. It also give them more time to build up Cody, probably wrap up the whole thing with Seth as well.
Yeah.
So that's probably how that's going to go. And of course, Charlotte dropped the title to Ronda because Charlotte's going off to marry old Andradolo.
Disgusting, and I'm talking about her dropping the title, not Andradolo.
Well, I'm talking about both. I think, honestly, like, I love Charlotte, but having Charlotte take a break, I think, is smart. Because Charlotte is, like, got so much heat with the smart marks now.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And on some level, you can't get rid of smart mark heat as long as the company still approves of you, because the smart marks are like, well, we all know how the smart marks are.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I think that people are generally like, the smart marks are very prone to overexposure as well. And Charlotte is very overexposed.
True.
And if Charlotte does take a break and come back, then generally speaking, when wrestlers take breaks and come back, they come back to pops.
Yes.
Ronda, we know, will not hold the title for very long because Ronda is the female Brock Lesnar. She is there for occasional paydays, and they're expensive every time.
Uh-huh.
And she has no real passion for the business, at least not anymore. So it's kind of inevitable she's going to end up dropping it to another heel. Though I guess the question would be, who takes the title off Ronda, right? Because
that is a good question. It's gonna be Aaliyah.
It's gonna be
incredibly stupid to turn Aaliyah heel and then have her beat Ronda. So yeah, that's a realistic possibility.
It's gonna be that woman that like the I'm forgetting her name, the person whose gimmick was being the Undertaker but like woman.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Honestly, neither do I.
You kept coming on talking about how they had this woman do like kung fu things and then she'd do superpowers.
Oh, Shiley.
Oh,
yeah, her.
Xia Li. She's been gone for like a month now. They didn't do anything with her after she like kung fu kicked Natalia.
She just makes cameo appearances now.
Yeah. Well, they had a segment like 2 weeks ago. Cut to backstage, her talking to the mic for like a minute. Then nothing happened the next week.
Nice. Good investment.
Yeah. I mean, like, in terms of like main event level women, Sasha and Naomi are both busy in the tag division. WWE has shown they don't really want to do anything with Shayna or Natalya. Like, Rhea's went over on Raw. Presumably, they're going to be getting rid of the brand split soon. The bland split. It is bland. The brand
Really?
split soon. So, presumably, like, there'll be an increased amount. I guess, like, the next inevitable question would be, do they want to have Ronda and Bianca fight to unify the titles? In which case, it would definitely be Bianca winning, because what the fuck? You want Ronda to unify the titles?
No.
But even then, correct me if I'm wrong, they might want to keep both women's titles just because now they make a big deal about like it being the triple crown of women's wrestling or something like that, right?
Yep.
They might want to keep it on that and just like, I wouldn't be shocked if they try and leverage one of them into being almost like a mid-card women's title, honestly.
Yeah. Like their own intercontinental belt.
The question would be which one, though, because both Bianca and Ronda are very much pushed as main event women.
Yep.
Either which way, I think that's just about what's happened with wrestling. Obviously, I put more time into Fire Pro, but that's about the only thing I have been putting time into. And when this podcast started, I had some humorous observations about Fire Pro, ready to rip, roar, and fire, but I've forgotten them. So, all right. So that's probably it, and I'm very much ready for to wrap the podcast so I can eat. So, Addie, say bye. Tomato soup.
Did he say bye?
No, he did not.
Why not?
Because he wants me to eat on recording for maximum professionalism.
Yeah, this is now a mukbang channel.
A one-man mukbang.
Yeah.
With two other people observing.
Yes.
Man, we're not even observing. We're just casual listeners here.
That's our gimmick. We're gonna gimmick to stand out.
How are we possibly going to compete with Ryback eating potato chips?
Yeah.
God, that guy's fucking psychotic.
Truly?
Like, that guy has just completely lost his goddamn mind. And I was looking, since we got the network, I was looking at some of the shows they got. Now, I think I'm pretty interested. Pank, you'll probably be able to tell me. Is the Table for Three show any good?
I've only seen a few episodes, but I do enjoy it. I was expecting it to be a work, but it actually does get rather candid, so I think it's great fun.
Well, I saw a clip of the one that's Cornette, Bischoff, and Michael Hayes, which, like, why the fuck is Michael Hayes in that trio?
Why is Michael Hayes still hired?
That's true. But, no, it seems to be shoot, because Cornette, being Cornette, of course, brought up, like, something that Bischoff did in the early 90s that pissed him off, and he blamed him, or you fucking guy, you fucking fuck. And, of course, Cornette, didn't say fuck, because it's a day-to-day program, but, you did this, and you ruined something or other, and you did this, and Bischoff just very simply, in his usual Bischoff manner, no, I didn't do that. Really? No, I had nothing to do with that. Well, and Cornette has afterwards claimed that he's gained a lot more respect for Bischoff since then. And it's kind of like, that. Really? All he said was he's not responsible for something you blamed him for.
He said it very convincingly.
Bischoff says everything convincingly. That's like his primary talent.
How do you think he got all those network deals?
Yeah. But yeah, I definitely want to start watching that. But I did see one episode in passing is Ryback and somebody. And the first thing that crosses my mind is, how on God's green earth did anyone think it was a good idea to bring back Ryback for anything? The second thing that crossed my mind is, who wants to hear Ryback talk?
I think that was actually filmed when he was still in the company, because it was way back. I believe it was Table for Three with Ryback, Daniel Bryan, and Dolph Ziggler. All the internet
Oh my
darlings
God.
there. Yep.
The two biggest instances of Mark bait in the last 10 years. Also, one guy the Marks despise. Good combo.
Yep. Yep. They knew what they were doing.
I was halfway wondering if the reason Michael Hayes was with Cornette and Bischoff was because he could probably keep them both under control. Like, here's two guys that do not give a shit and will totally shoot on WWE. Let's put the biggest company ass kisser ever in the lineup too, just to be safe.
Just be on the safe side, you know?
Are they still making episodes?
Not that I'm aware of. I think that's kind of on the back burner for now, but it'll definitely be brought back sooner or later.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
With that said, I am worried that they're going to release an episode at some point that's like, don't worry, guys, the new hottest episode of Table for Three featuring Michael Hayes, Bruce Pritchard, and John Laurinaitis. It's like, oh boy, Vince's ass is what they're dining on tonight.
You know, I saw discussion online about wrestling just in general. Like it came up in a subreddit that's not all related to wrestling. So I found out it wasn't the two best friends Reddit, but like fucking Japanese wrestling or something like that came up, and the entire comment section was just Johnny fucking Ace.
Yeah. Mrs. Baba has like 30 alt accounts.
Yeah.
Oh man, you guys been hearing this stuff about Kota Ibushi in the last week?
No.
I have. Weird.
Kota Ibushi's been coming out and saying like, oh, the corporate guys over New Japan, they're all like sexual adulterers and they're sexual abusers and sexual assaulters and harassers, and also they're involved with the Yakuza.
That part wasn't a surprise.
I mean, we all kind of discreetly figured the Yakuza had some finger in it, but
but saying it outright like that is pretty much just going, "Hey, kill me! I want to die."
Well, Kota Ibushi's probably too big of a star for the Yakuza to outright kill, but it is a fucking guarantee he's never working in Japan again.
Absolutely not.
Like, odds are, in about a couple months, we're going to see Kota Ibushi debut for either NXT or AEW. Which do you think is more likely there? Because I know he's butt buddies with Kenny Omega, but at the same time, he's already done a few matches for WWE, right? In the Cruiserweight.
Yeah, he was part of their Cruiserweight Classic in 2016. I feel like AEW is the one who would pay him more and want him more and already have something lined up for him and Kenny to do. So that would be probably the more enticing of the two.
That is true.
Plus, WWE themselves have cut back tremendously on hiring indie talent as of late. So, I mean, Kota, I don't know how old he is, but he probably is too old for their wanting, and he's an indie star. So those are two major strikes against him. You know, he's probably got more than 10 years of experience in wrestling, so that's another major no-no.
Right. They don't want wrestlers. They want football players.
Yeah.
Like, I know I said it last week that we're going to be WWE's going to be in serious fucking trouble in 5 or 6 years. But, like, we have seen the end point of Vince being allowed to do what he wants and Kevin Dunn being allowed to do what he wants. And it is going to be some dark days ahead.
Oh, yeah, brother.
And it's like, fuck, I wish AEW was meaningful competition, but you look over there and Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks are jerking themselves off. And everyone else is collecting Tony Khan's money mark bucks while they still can.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, no, look, Ambrose wrestles mummies.
Oh my god.
He does something. Like, he did at least once.
It's probably the most entertaining he's ever been.
Yeah. He issued a like open challenge for like a death match. And like some Japanese wrestler guy who was like 90 answered.
What, was he bald and had like a weird half mohawk going down the back of his head?
I don't know.
Okay. Here I am wondering, like, did he get challenged by the Yeti? You gotta watch out for the for the Yeti signature move, surprise butt sex.
Yeah. You never know when it hits.
My God, that might be like WCW has a lot of goofy shit like that. But man, one of the dumbest things I've ever seen in a wrestling match that wasn't a gimmick match and wasn't deliberately stupid like what the Young Bucks do has probably got to be the Yeti thinking it's that an acceptable wrestling move is the humping bear hug. You know?
I mean, is that, I don't know if what's worse, that or Road Dogg. He kind of his
What about
entire
Road
gimmick,
Dogg?
but yeah. Oh, the pump handle slam.
Oh, right, how he'd hump. That's a taunt, though. To be fair, that's a taunt. It's not like supposed to be. It's not supposed to be the guy who's taking anal damage from Road Dogg.
How do you know?
Like the damaging part is the pump handle slam itself. Road Dogg humping them a little bit is supposed to be the taunt, right?
Yeah.
It's like if Stone Cold flips someone the middle finger before stunning them, the middle finger is not supposed to be the part that causes damage.
Are you sure about that?
When Hogan sticks his hand to his ear and flexes before doing the leg drop, the flex is not causing the damage.
But it should.
He is not Flex Mentallo.
He's American Zangief.
Oh, God.
The muscle is too strong. The muscle power beats all.
All right. So, yeah. Now do we want to wrap the podcast up? Because I asked you to say bye like an hour ago. Jesus Christ, it's getting rough out there.
Yeah. I already said bye. I just don't know when to cut, honestly.
Oh, the podcast is to shut up your mouth.